So I want to give you 10 great builds that you can use for solo farming. This is my personal preference, you don't have to completely agree with this, but maybe after watching this video you will find some builds useful or get new ideas. Okay, so let's start with Vow of Strength, or VOS in short. This build is loved by many and it's not surprising. Your damage increases linearly with the number of enemies, which makes VOS a perfect split clear candidate too. Originally it was designed for dervish, but any of the professions can use it more or less. Another good thing about this build is the infinite long high chance blocking ability. Extend enchantments used with Mirage Cloak is super strong. Sense Shards deals nice additional damage, while Mystic Regen or Mystic Vigor gives back a lot of HP. So this build is like when you activate the cheat codes in a game, massive DPS, very tanky character, and as long as there is no heavy enchantment removal or hexes, the build works perfectly. Okay, the next one also has the VOS abbreviation, but it's called Vow of Silence. And I have a lot of YouTube vids dedicated to that. I have to say I really love this build. The elite prevents all spells being used on you, and with scythe mastery skills you can kill a bunch of different enemies. But sadly VOS prevents allied spells as well, so it's only viable when it comes to solo farming. Otherwise you can add buffs like Grant's Aura, Vow of Piety, Mental Block, I'm Unstoppable, you are all weaklings to make your toon tougher. And the key is to hit at least 3 enemies with your scythe, otherwise you won't do max damage and won't get back max healing. With Vow of Piety you will have infinite extra 24 armor and 3 or 4 pips of HP regen, so your dev will be quite overpowered. And sadly non-dervish characters can't really maintain VOS, but I tried my best on Ranger and it was fun, but it's not the best option. The next great solo build is called SOS, or Signet of Spirits, and good news, it can be used on every profession, even on Paragon and Warrior. The build relies on a lot of spirits. The elite itself spawned 3 spirits, then we have vampirism from the Sunspear skills, which is a sort of self-healing. Then you can add Shadow Song to blind the enemies, Pain and Blood Song. And with the help of Painful Bond you can reach more than 150 damage per second on a single target. And Summon Spirits is a must-have skill to get your beloved spirits out of trouble and heal them if needed. Plus Armor of Unfeeling is also necessary, since normally these low level spirits die rather quickly. And of course if you are a ritualist your spirits will be much stronger, since you can invest to spawning power, which adds extra HP and armor with each rank. And now we arrive to something fun, the Whirling Defense farmer. If you can solo one of the hardest, if not the hardest areas of the game, Domain of Anguish, your build must be good, right? Well, Whirling is similar to Vow of Strength in a way that the more enemies you have, the bigger DPS you get, but Whirling triggers on each successful block. And with Dwarfen stability, Whirling lasts twice as long, and Shadow Form is his best friend, and other assassin enchantments too. One important note, this build relies on projectile attacks, so coasters and range enemies what you will need. Melees on their own are not soloable with this build, and Shroud of Distress and Mental Block can further increase the block chance. Okay, let's move on. Do you guys remember those old 55 HP monkwids? You might say yes Peter, but those are outdated as hell. Okay, I admit they are not part of the current meta, but still viable for a thing or two. The idea was to reduce HP down to 55 or 105, and Protective Spirit, Healing Breeze, Mending, Shielding Hands, etc. would make the character invincible. So as long as there is no heavy degen or enchantment removal, the build works fine. The elite can be Shield of Judgment or Spiteful Spirit, 100 Blade, Spoil Victor. There are quite many options. But if you are farming undead, you should use holy damage for the win. So Shield of Judgment is good, and you can add smite condition and smite hex as well. If you want to solo a boss, you should be using Spoil Victor or Spiteful Spirit, and if you can find a way to make mobs stack, 100 Blades is a good choice. The trick is always the same: low HP, 55 or 105, some damage reduction or high HP regen. And now we arrive to one of my favorite solo builds, Vengeful Was Khanhei. If you enjoy lifestealing and picking up nice drops, then this build was made for you. The goal is to stand still and let mobs hit you, similarly to the old 55 HP monk builds, but this time after each hit you leech some of the mob's HP. So as long as your lifesteal is higher than the damage you receive, you are in safety. The build has two versions. One has high armor, normal HP, usually with skills like physical resistance, I'm unstoppable, you are all weaklings, and the other one is a 55 or 130 HP hybrid. And anyway, with Arcane Echo you can extend the lifestealing duration to more than 30 seconds, giving yourself more than enough time to finish off regular foes even in hard mode. Okay guys, now let's get on the nostalgia train, the good old Wammo build. A tank warrior with high armor, high HP, monk healing skills will take you back to 2005 very quickly. And you would be surprised how strong it can get with Defy Pain and AoE attacking skills. The more mobs you hit, the more HP you get back from the skills like Life Vigorously, and there's even a 100 Blades version if you want to see nice yellow numbers on the screen. Use Defy Pain, Doyak Signet if mobs hits like a truck, and you should be using Triple Chop if you need more DPS and less armor. Okay, let's move on. The next solo build on my list is Obsidian Flesh, and this is mostly viable for elementalists unless you use beacons and cons. Obby Flesh prevents spells used against you, similarly to Vow of Silence, but Stone Flesh Aura reduces most of the received damage, so it's a bit different, and you can add Sliver Armor if you want to focus your firepower on a single target. And you can choose Vaettirs Worry and Vaettirs Demise if you plan on soloing big bold up groups, since coastal groups can do shit against you, and those will be your main targets. And for last but not least we have Shadow Form, and like I mentioned at the Whirling Defense part, this elite is great. Even after all the nerfs it had suffered, Shadow Form is still awesome. SF not only prevents enemy spells but also gives you 5 damage reduction for each assassin enchantment on you, while Shadow of Distress makes your tune even more tankier. Quite similar to the Obsi Flash build, you can have Sliver Armor, you can use the 2 Wastrel skills, and even Whirling Defense can be your main source of damage. Or try Sight Mastery skills and do something similar to the Vow of Silence there. Flashing Blades is an assassin elite which is a great way to farm mostly melee mobs. It has a ton of blocking chance, can be even bigger with critical defenses, then critical agility provides high attacking speed, an extra 25 armor, and we have 3 dagger skills to finish mobs quickly. The build gets nice benefits from certain monk skills like Vigorous Spirit, and Critical Eye helps with mostly the energy management. The dagger chain can vary from the usual Jack Strike, Fox Fangs, Death Blossom to Golden Fox Strike, Wild Strike to deal with the blocking enemies. Okay, so at this point I should stop since the title said best 10 builds, but since I love trapping too much, this is my extra build for you guys. Trapping is slow, I accept that, but it's also fun if you are a patient person like me, And don't you agree it's fun to kill those poor innocent mobs like that? I think it is. Anyway, the trick is to drop some junk item to the ground so you will remember where the traps are, and just lure mobs there. In general, melees are easy to farm like that, but sadly coasters and range fools are complicated. So guys, in my opinion, these are the 10 best builds for solo farming. I will put all the information you need into the description, the build codes, the attributes, the weapons, the equipment. If you have questions regarding the builds, feel free to leave a comment below, and as always, thank you very much for watching and see you next time.